right, I think we're at critical mass, so we'll go ahead and get started. Hello, and thank you for joining us on the webinar today. Today, we'll get an introduction to Service Cloud and talk about some transition basics. All right, and so we'll start with some introductions. My name is Brian Suh, and I'm a content and programs manager here at Salesforce. And I've been at Salesforce for just about 3.5 years. And my focus here is to create scaled programs for you, our customers, to learn about the Salesforce product and specifically Service Cloud. So I'm always really curious to kind of hear you guys' thoughts on kind of content that you would like to see and maybe the vehicles in which you would like to see it, whether it's a webinar or video or an article. So if you do have any thoughts, do have any ways that you guys prefer to learn, please do let me know. My email address is bsuh@salesforce.com. All right, so before we begin, just a quick note that because Salesforce is a publicly traded company, and when considering future developments or purchases, whether by us or with any other solution provider, you should always base your decisions on what is currently and generally available. And before we jump into kind of the topic at hand, I want to just take a moment and say thank you just for taking time out of your busy schedules just to learn about Salesforce and Service Cloud specifically. Also, just want to thank you just for really being great Salesforce customers. We as a company would truly not be where we are today if it wasn't for you guys. So thank you. We truly do appreciate your business. All right, so let's take a look at today's agenda topics. We'll be reviewing what Service Cloud is, how it fits in with the Salesforce platform. We'll talk about some DES to Service Cloud transition basics, basic topics, and kind of what to consider when planning your move. And then we'll wrap up with a brief overview of Service Cloud in that. And of course, we'll finish off by reviewing some resources, next steps, Q&A. So during the webinar or even at the end, if you have any questions, please use the GoToWebinar's question panel for any of those questions that you might have. Also, just a reminder that today's webinar is being recorded, and we will send out the recording and deck within 24 hours. All right, so we know that providing amazing, excellent customer service is often difficult. You know, you're faced with many competing priorities, trying to juggle reducing your costs, but increasing customer satisfaction. You're often weighed down by multiple systems. You're also trying to improve your agent experience and ensure that the next generation of your customers' needs and expectations are all met. And you're trying to balance, operational excellence with service innovation and all of this while trying to keep the lights on and just keep the business running as normal. Well, with Service Cloud, customers can overcome all of these competing priorities and deliver connected, personalized, intelligent, and empowered customer service. Now, Service Cloud enables our customers to really blaze a new trail to service transformation. You'll be able to provide connected service to your customers and have that service be personalized. With Service Cloud, you have the ability to deliver intelligent service at scale with actionable analytics, and your service will be empowered with a complete view of your customer because you've given your agents powerful productivity tools. And that's where Service Cloud really comes in. Service Cloud is the most complete service platform, and with Service Cloud, you can really transform your customer service because it's also powered by the most complete platform as well. Now, with things like customer community, you can deliver completely connected self-service experiences. With our digital engagement products, you can make self-service seamless across all of your channels. We're also bringing you the next generation of support that scales with AI and intelligence. And with analytics, supervisors and managers are now able to really be empowered to make informed decisions with deep, actionable analytics and reporting. Now, for all of these reasons and more, Service Cloud has been recognized as the world's #1 service platform, and it's really our customers and your success that has really separated us apart from the rest. Now, with features such as Lightning Service Console, case management, collaboration, omnichannel routing, knowledge macros, and third-party integrations, and more. Customers often report an average of 31% increase in faster case resolution. And I think that's something that really all businesses would really love to see. Next, with customer community, it's really easy for any company to build a completely connected self-service experience by creating communities and portals that are built right on Salesforce. Customer community also uses artificial intelligence to do things like automatically answer questions in your support forums and also recommends relevant content for your customers. And customer community enables you to build your community or portal quickly. And this is out of the box with templates and with easy to use drag and drop community builder. Now, our customers who are on Service Cloud have experienced some really huge benefits, such as decrease in support costs, increase in customer retention, faster case resolution, and increased agent productivity. And perhaps one of the greatest benefits is the increase in customer satisfaction. Now, Service Cloud is just one application that's built on the entire Salesforce platform. Marketing, commerce, communities, sales, collaboration, and industries are the other applications that are built on the Salesforce platform. So for you as a business, when you're ready, the tools that you need will be there for you as you start to grow. Now, the Salesforce platform is what brings everything together, and it really sets us apart. You can customize and extend your service offering with absolutely no code necessary, or if you would like to code, then the customizations are really limitless. And whatever your level of comfort is, we have tools and resources to really help you along the way. With the Salesforce platform, businesses can focus on what they really do best, which is connecting with your customers, rather than managing complex hardware and software systems. So we talked about the platform and how it can help to really future-proof you with your customer support solution. One of the things that businesses worry about the most is the challenge of keeping up with technology as their business grows and as your customers change and expect more and more from you year after year. And to help support you, Salesforce has 3 major releases per year with automatic updates. And when we think about which features to develop, a major source of those features come directly from our customer community, so you know that we're listening. Now, I've been talking about resources to help you along the way, and one of those resources is Trailhead. Trailhead is our gamified online learning platform, and Trailhead makes it possible for anyone to learn the skills needed to really set up your business. Trailhead was actually designed to be bite-sized learning units. So a trail is an overarching topic, and trails are then broken down into modules, then into units within modules. So the way that Trailhead was actually designed was for an individual to be able to complete a few units or modules within a lunch period, actually. In a matter of no time, you can learn skills-based credentials and connect with fellow community users who we call trailblazers. So let's shift gears and see a walkthrough of Service Cloud. In our walkthrough, we'll see the Service Console, case list views, which are like queues or filters in Desk, the case view, which is like the agent console in Desk, page layouts, dashboards, reports, and then we'll wrap up with the service setup area, which is similar to the admin console in Desk. So give me just a few moments to shift gears here. All right. So if you haven't done so, the first thing that I'd recommend is to sign up for a custom version of the Service Cloud free trial. And this actually lasts for a full 90 days. So remember that this trial has been created specifically just for you guys, our Desk.com customers. So this trial includes helpful customizations that you're familiar with in Desk. So if you'd like to see a full list of what we included in your trial, then you can refer to a workbook that we've actually created for you, and I'll point you towards the end of the webinar. So here on the right-hand side, you'll fill out your contact details. When you get to my domain here, this is going to be the name of your Salesforce instance, which is similar to your desk site name. So just make sure that you only enter letters, numbers, and hyphens. And then when you get to the desk endpoint, this is simply the name of your current desk.com site. And we use this just to authenticate to create your free trial. All right. So once you've created your trial, you're going to be launched into this, the general service area, which is what you're looking at right now. What you'll actually want to do is navigate to the service console, which I wanted to walk you through today. So you're going to go to the top left-hand corner and click our app launcher. All right, and your app launcher might look a little bit different from mine just because I've added a couple of things just for testing. But what you're going to look for is Service Console as so here. Let's just go ahead and click in. And again, this console is going to be similar to what you guys currently know as the agent console in Desk.com. So the first thing you'll see here is that we land in the case list view, and which is kind of this tab right here. And this is very similar to your filters and queues in Desk. And you'll see all of your cases from whichever channel you're coming from, whether it be email or Facebook or Twitter here. The cases tab is kind of where you can see all of your information like case number. You'll notice that status has been set up to be similar as your statuses in Desk so that you're comfortable with this. And then to the right-hand side, you'll see other basic information like contact name, subject, priority, and a ton of other information. Now, what's really cool about this is that you can actually customize what you actually see here now, a little bit different from Desk. So the way that you're going to do that is you're going to go to the gear icon here, and then you're going to select fields to display. Click on that. And then you have a list of all of your available fields that you can actually add here. And really easily what you can just do is, let's say case reason, I want to go ahead and move that over. I'll click the arrow. And then that's actually going to bring it to the bottom here. And then we can actually move it up to change the priority or the sorting order as so. All right. So very cool, very customizable. Let's go ahead and cancel out of that for now. All right. So if you go here next to the down caret next to the all open cases, you can see the different list views, again, kind of like filters and queues. So you'll see a couple here, all unresolved, my cases, my open cases. A couple of these are going to be default for you guys. You can also eventually start seeing the different list views that your teammates or maybe your managers have created, and you can actually control the audience level of those. And we can do that here. I'll show you here. So if we go back to our gear icon and click New, we can go ahead and say this is going to be a test. And if we tab or shift out, the list API name is going to be automatically populated. And then here we can see who is able to see this list view. We can designate whether it's only me that can see it or all the users. So let's go ahead and say it's just all users for now. Click Save. And then on the right-hand side, this is where you can customize to really kind of see what are the filters that you want to include in order to actually create this filter. So whether it's account, name, whether it's a specific account that you want to really focus on, or whether it's like a channel or maybe a status or priority, you can set up those filters as so, just using the operators and the values as well. All right, and none of this is set in stone, so you can actually cancel out or you can delete list views. So even if we were to go ahead and save this one, I can very easily delete it as well using the gear icon here. All right. All right, so the next thing I wanted to show you, and let's actually just go back to our all open cases so we can see more here. So the next thing I want to show you is different display options for this case list view. So if we go here to our display icon, currently you're looking at the table view, but let's take a look at the Kanban view. So this is really cool because it's a really great way to view your cases visually. You can actually just kind of drag and drop and change by status. If you want to quickly move from new to pending or whatnot, you can do that here. So this is a really great way just to kind of give you a snapshot of kind of what your day looks like. And you can also even plop down here to change the owner of certain cases. Let's say that certain cases with a priority or certain status you want to assign to a person or a group, you can do that here. All right, let's actually go back to our table view. We're going to take a look at the split view in just a little bit, but let's actually go shift gears here to our charts. So charts are a really great way to give you another visual snapshot of your cases. Right now, we only have about 18 cases here, so I can get a good feel, like, status-wise or priority-wise or channel-wise. But let's say that you start having 100, 200, 300, 500 cases in your queue, and you really want to see what's my day going to look like, what's my team's day going to look like. So we can create charts here. So again, the charts icon here, we're going to click New Chart. And let's actually say that I want to actually get a better understanding, a better visual representation of kind of cases by status. So I'll put that in here. I'm going to leave the chart type and all this other information the same for now. And then the grouping field is going to be status. All right, so it looks good. Now, the aggregate type and these other fields, they may change based on what kind of chart type you select, so be aware of that. So let's give that a save. All right, so now we have a really great visual representation of kind of this cases by status. And what's really cool about this is that you can edit this information. Let's say that you wanted to see it in a vertical bar chart instead of a horizontal, or maybe like a donut pie chart here. So a really great way to kind of see those. And again, you can always go back to edit to change your group fields and whatnot here. All right, and once again, none of this is set in stone, so feel free to kind of play with it, create charts, create different charts that would be really valuable for your team when you're testing here. So, and let's go ahead and just delete this for now. All right, there we go. All right, the next thing that we have, and let's actually minimize the charts here. So the next thing that we have here is bulk updates. So similar to in Desk, you're able to select multiple cases, unselect. Let's say I want to just actually select a couple of these, as so. And then we can go ahead to the upper right-hand corner and click Update Case. So here we can change the status and bulk of our cases. We can also assign the case to a new owner. And what's really cool about this is that not only can you assign it to a user, you can also assign it to a specific queue as well. A little bit different from Desk as well. All right, cancel out for that. And let's go ahead and unselect those. All right, and then at the bottom left-hand corner here, you have macros. I think all of you guys, since you guys are desk users, are familiar with macros, but just as a refresher, macros are a set of instructions that complete various tasks, such as changing the status or priority or case owner, even adding a canned response and sending, all with one click. So huge productivity tool for you guys. Also have it here. We also have Omnichannel. So this is a little bit new for you guys. Omnichannel routing, it really makes it easy to push the right work to the right agents in real time. I talked about this a little bit earlier in the presentation, but regardless of the channel that it's coming from, this is going to route your cases automatically to the right agent. So let's say that you have a couple that maybe a new agent that you want to kind of filter more simple questions to, and then maybe you have some cases that are specific to an expert on your team. So you can automatically route those. And the great thing about that is that it really puts the right cases in the hands of the right people. No longer do agents have to manually go through a queue and pick and choose cases. It really saves time. And by doing this, it really, in turn, helps you to help your customers faster. On the right-hand side here, we have history. So you can see the cases and the items that you've most recently worked on. So let's say there's a pretty tough case, and I want to go ahead and just send a link for this. So we have our quick action links here, as so. All right, so let's actually go ahead and dive into a case. So I'm going to click into the first case here. And one thing I didn't get to show you was that split view. So you can bring it up by clicking on this small arrow here. And let me actually go back. So when we do go back to cases, you can always see it in the split view here as so. Okay. And if you ever want to minimize it, you can go ahead and click that small triangle as so. So this is really great because all in one screen, you can see, the list of your cases as well as the cases themselves. So you can all open up multiple cases. Let's say that you're working and someone sends you a case, you can look at that case without losing your work and whatnot here. So let's go ahead and close these up so we can just focus on one case for now. So let's actually go ahead and kind of go over what you see here. Now this is really great because once again, you're getting all the information that you need about the customer, about the case, about the interaction on one screen. Everything you see here is actually customizable. I'll show you that in a little bit. But here on the left-hand side, you have your case details. So you're able to click the pencil icon, change any information. Let's say the case owner, you want to assign it to a user or a queue. You can do as so here. Change status or priority as so. You can cancel out for now. Same with the contact details. Let's say for Jason, we don't have his email, but we talked to him on the phone and he gave it to us. So we can easily add it here. Also here, you'll see kind of other objects here. And again, these are customizable. You can add or remove components like this as you please. Let's shift over to the right-hand side. We've also set up a couple of cool things like such as knowledge. So your agents will be able to bring up internal articles or external articles so that they can easily link customers to those knowledge-based articles. We also have cool things like milestone trackers to kind of show kind of where a case is at, and a lot of other components that you can add. Now the middle here is kind of your bread and butter. One cool feature that we've kind of recently released is one called Case Path. So right now you'll just see kind of the status is here, and you'll see kind of a visual representation of where this case is at. But the cool thing is here is that in this open area where it says status open, you can put a lot of kind of gotchas or reminders for your agents. So let's say maybe when you're in the open status, maybe it's a specific field that you want them to fill out before they move on or save the case. Or maybe it's some guidance, for a specific type of case, or whether it's a shipping or order question. A couple of guidance items here. Even words of encouragement. So really cool here and super customizable. And then here in the main area, we have our feed and details. Let's actually first go to the details. So this is kind of your comprehensive area for your customer and case details. Similar to kind of your case details and contact details here. And these are more kind of snapshots kind of to really streamline your work. But if you really want to dig and see everything about your customer, the details area is where you would kind of look for that. All right, let's go and cancel out of that. Now let's go to the feed area. So here, whether your channels are email or social media, those are going to pop up here. We can also see kind of your interactions from your customers kind of in a feed format here. We can also just see, if you don't want to see the actual interaction, kind of what was said, you can also just see the case update, the update information. So here we can see, like, if you wanted to see like when a specific agent changed the status from new to open, or when they added a note, you'll see all of that history here. You can also see internal case comments. Let's say a couple of agents are actually working on the same case, then you can kind of see that thread here. Let's go to the email here. Now, a really cool thing about the console here is that we have our inline HTML editor here. So you can make your responses to your customers beautiful and interactive, adding color and size fonts and all of that. Gone are the days where it's just kind of simple text. So really take advantage of that. All right. So let's actually go ahead and take a look at how you would actually edit this page. I talked about kind of how you would really customize this. So let's go ahead and dive in here. So we'll go to the gear icon at the top right hand corner. Now, I want to kind of point out the distinction between the two here. So we have our service setup and our general setup here. Now, the general setup is kind of just for the general system, but if you want to customize the console and whatnot, that's going to be service setup. For now, we're actually just going to go ahead and edit this page. So let's go here. All right. So here, earlier I mentioned that you can do a lot in terms of customization with no code. So this is kind of where it's at. So we can easily kind of drag and drop components here. Let's say that I actually don't even want this area, or let's say I want to remove kind of the case details because I just want to use the details in this main area. Let's say that I think knowledge is actually pretty important to my team, so I can go ahead and drag it over to the left-hand corner to make sure that they see it. You can also go ahead and add all of your areas for components here. We have a lot of cool things. Let's say I actually just want to remove knowledge. I can go ahead and search for it here and then bring it over back. We also have some really cool tools such as rich text editor. So being able to really visually display information to our agents based off of information here. So let's say it's a VIP customer. So based off of a custom field or a list field, we can go ahead and display some type of VIP information so that the agents or whoever's working with the customer knows. And then again, we can kind of remove any components as so here. So feel free to play around with that. Let's go ahead and just exit out. I'm not gonna save these changes. All right. Another cool thing I wanted to kind of show you guys is the reports and dashboards. So next to the cases tab, even if we just close this up, there's a down caret here, and we'll go to dashboards. And then we'll go to, all dashboards, sorry. And then we'll go to support dashboards. So we've actually created a couple of dashboards out of the box for you guys, but you can add more if you'd like here. Really, this area is highly customizable in terms of what information you want to see, whether it's about the cases or whether it's about your agent's productivity. So things like case by origin, so being able to see that, I have the majority of my cases are from email or for social media. If you want to see kind of detailed information about your cases, kind of categorizing them, like whether it's a shipping or a product question, you can see kind of the breakdown. And this really helps you just to kind of dig in to see, well, maybe I should create some knowledge articles based off of, the product problems instead of just feature requests or whatnot. You can also see kind of productivity kind of dashboards in terms of, which agents are taking on the most case volume or whatnot. And these are really cool also because you can really dig in. So let's actually take a look at this report here. So now you're looking at the report, and kind of similar to the charts, you can kind of visually change the way that you're looking at it. So if we go on the gear icon here, I can go ahead and display it as a horizontal or vertical graph, maybe a line graph. So whichever way that, let's say that you need to communicate this information with your team or someone else, or even for yourself, whatever way is best visually represented by you or your team. All right. And then on the underneath the kind of the graph, you'll see kind of the detailed breakdown, and so you can really dig into those numbers. All right. So let's go ahead and close out those areas. And then let's take a look at kind of that service setup area that I was talking about earlier. So we'll go back to the gear icon. And again, remember the distinction between the service setup and setup. We're going to go to service setup. Now, let me point out a couple of things here. So on the left-hand side, we have our kind of like quick find area. So this is everything that you can set up here in Service Cloud. So you can go ahead and expand the windows. There's a lot of different areas. So as you get more comfortable with the system, you can really easily just type in email and go exactly to what you want. Or let's say I want to add a user. I'll go ahead and type that in, and you'll see kind of like the choices that we can go to. But if you're a little bit newer to the setup area and Service Cloud, I really recommend this recommended setup area here. We have the kind of basic ones that we would recommend. If you want to look at the kind of comprehensive setup wizards and walkthroughs, we can go ahead and go to View All, and we can see all of those here. We also have a bunch of resources for you guys as well in setup areas. But these are really great because if you're not sure where to start, I would really just kind of walk through these. Adding your users, get started. It'll literally just walk you through adding each of your users. Let's say you want to go ahead and add your Twitter account. It'll walk you through kind of verifying your account and adding all of that. So really simple to do. Another one is going to be definitely email setup. It'll just be a wizard that walks you through to set up your Gmail or whatever email client you use here. All right, so let's go ahead and shift gears back to the PowerPoint here. So let's go ahead and talk about some transition basics and as my screen loads here. Okay, so we came up with 6 questions to consider when planning your move, and also kind of like a project timeline sample. So our group here at Desk often consults with and engages with customers of all sizes, some small, some medium, others larger enterprise businesses. And these topics will really help you no matter the size of your business. As you start your plan, we've included these questions to really get you thinking about your transition. So feel free to kind of write down your answers or simply just keep them in the back of your head as we go through this session. Now, let's talk about your experience with Salesforce. This is one of the first things you'll want to consider as you plan your move. Have you ever used Salesforce before? Have you ever administered Salesforce? Today, you guys are Desk.com users, admins, and often a lot of you guys are experts. Think about how you got there. You know, it was with the resources that you consumed over time that you really learned the product. And I really say that's going to be similar with kind of Salesforce and Service Cloud. But whether you're very comfortable with Salesforce already, or if you've never used it, you can take advantage of the Service Cloud offering by referring to the resources we've created for you. Resources like this webinar and other webinars in this series, our video support center, our Desk Service Cloud Help Center, the Service Cloud trial that I kind of reviewed, and most importantly, I would say Trailhead, which again is our fun free learning resource that I mentioned. So whether you already know Salesforce or you want to sharpen your skills, let's say maybe you're brand new and just getting started, we have resources of all levels for you guys. So as we move on to the next question, our next few slides are really going to focus on some of the more granular items like channels and data and features to help maintain or improve both your customer and agent experience. So channels are a really great place to start. They are how your customers communicate with you. When planning your transition, make sure you ask, what channels do you use to offer support to your customers today? And then, are your customers using channels that you don't yet support? Now, these are key questions to begin your discussion on channels for your new service solution. Then you'll want to consider if your customers even want to communicate with you through those channels that you're not yet using. If so, then you may want to look into Service Cloud to really see, the whole myriad of kind of channels that we offer. And there's a lot that that you could probably use to kind of really improve your customer support communication. Now, One of the reasons that this is really important to think about is because of a feature called Omnichannel. Oh, let's actually go back here. I mentioned that earlier, and again, Omnichannel Customer Service Center allows customers to really connect seamlessly with your support staff across multiple channels. So, really not isolating communication to just a chat or just email or just phone. It really doesn't matter if they're tweeting, texting, or emailing. It's all consolidated into one place for really effective and efficient communication. So that way, your support agents have immediate access to a real holistic picture of the person they're about to help. Now, this is a great, really great customer experience, and I recommend looking into this to see if this is a business goal for you to add to your current support. Now, related to your channels, I want to expand upon the experience you can create with a more mature and streamlined self-service customer community. First, what is your customer self-service experience like today? For example, do your customers really love your support site? Do you have a customer facing portal? And if so, does it effectively allow your customers to network and self service? Now, if the answer to any of these questions is no, then it might be time to reevaluate your existing support site and really leverage the power of Salesforce Community to really amaze and wow your customers in a way that you haven't yet. Now, for those of you taking cases from your support portal or allowing customers to log in and see their tickets today, that is currently available on communities as well. So let's actually talk about data a little bit. So I typically see customers approach their legacy or older data one of three ways. Take everything with them, take some of their data with them, and finally, take none of their data with them and start fresh. And there is something really great about that last option. You'll need to think about the value and importance of the data you have stored in Desk.com today. If you don't know about your data yet, then the most important question to answer is how much of your desk data do you want access to in Service Cloud? This will really determine your data requirements and storage needs in your new service solution. So for data and storage requirements, I recommend talking to your account executive, or feel free to reach out to desk support if you have any questions about storage at Salesforce. Now, if you choose to have a cutoff point for your data, or if you want to start fresh, then you can request a one-time data or case export from our support team at Desk prior to the retirement of Desk.com. This CSV file is yours to keep, whether you're using it for data management or upload, or as just an offline resource. The next question I typically get is how to move your data from Desk to Service Cloud. Now, this depends on your answer above, and we've actually developed a data migration tool and recommendations available to you on our support center. So when you are ready to focus on this piece of your transition, we're here for you and we can help you along with that. We also have our one of our past webinars, which was a data migration webinar. So if you would really like to dig in, please visit our video support center for that webinar. Now, when you're thinking about taking your data, you'll also want to think about your knowledge base in Desk. For example, do you have knowledge articles that you want to keep and use in Service Cloud? If so, it's valuable to discuss whether or not you'd like to continue using them. Salesforce knowledge is like the articles you have in Desk today, and really just with more options. It is built right into your agent's fee for easy access and faster time to resolution, and it's embedded into your support website, so it allows your customers to help themselves faster. At Salesforce, we typically use internal and external facing help articles, FAQs, product walkthroughs, and more. And if you'd like more, if you'd like to move your articles from Desk to Service Cloud, check out our support center. We do have a tool built for that. There's an article specifically geared towards publishing your Desk articles and topics and articles on communities using our free migration tool. Now, once you've successfully implemented, how will you measure success? Will you be measuring adoption? What are your key service metrics? These are all important to think about in your plan because it can really determine your timeline. What features you use and what data points are most important to you for reporting, those are all things to consider as well. Often, however, I think this question is overlooked. How will your business define success, a successful transition and adoption of Service Cloud? This really ensures your customers are receiving the service that you originally intended. What metrics are most important to you for measuring adoption? If you find a good number of users aren't leveraging the system as much as they should be, this could be a sign that you might want to revisit training. So consider that in your timeline as well. We recommend measuring adoption early on so that you can see the strongest return for your investment as well. So we've reviewed a number of important planning topics today to really help you maintain and plan your transition. Thinking through your transition and establishing a transition timeline early will allow you to better leverage Service Cloud as a customer service solution. Now, to supplement the planning categories covered today, we've also dropped a sample timeline that captures some high-level stages while envisioning your transition. So this is just an example based on a scenario of a customer with these specific kind of criteria on the right-hand side. 10 or fewer users, less than 5 groups, less than 20 labels, custom fields, 15 less macros. They use basic automation, basic support center, and I really say this is kind of your very typical, small and medium-sized business customer. So for this, I would really kind of average timeline and estimate about 2 to 4 months, and that really kind of depends on your specific use cases and schedules and whatnot. But really, I think 2 to 4 months is kind of a kind of an idea of what you should have when planning this kind of transition. I think if you're really focused on setting this up and transitioning and getting everyone trained up, yeah, I think 2 months is actually very doable. But if you want to give yourself a little bit more of a buffer, just to test and to really get comfortable, then I would kind of lean a little bit more towards on the 3 to 4 month side. Now, I recommend you define your project stages and kind of really append like some realistic timeframes to those stages during which you can explore, plan, architect, and really launch your Service Cloud instance. Now, if you plan to work with a third-party implementation partner, they can actually really help advise you and kind of set some expectations for you for the project stages and timeframe as well. I would really encourage you not to wait until the end of life in March, but instead plan and give yourselves a good buffer just to transition. Start early, give yourself some time to swap over and become comfortable, and as well, we're here to help you early on as well. All right. Now, as you revisit kind of how you want to deliver service, you have this really good opportunity just to give your customers an innovative and streamlined experience, one that keeps up with the evolution of technology and your customers' needs and expectations. As Desk.com customers, you have available to you the power of Salesforce at Desk.com prices. So if you take advantage of our license exchange before Desk's retirement in March 2020, that price advantage is typically 80 to 90% discount at an 80 to 90% discount for the normal price of Service Cloud. So for more information of that, please contact your Salesforce account executive or feel free to reach out to us at support@desk.com. All right. So in terms of some next steps, I highly recommend starting your Service Cloud free trial. There's a link to it on our support site, and I'll send this deck out as well so you can get started. But play around with it. So go ahead and set it up. See how easy it is to use, and kind of what that experience is like. Again, we've had a ton of resources to help you during the trial. I'll walk you through some of that in a little bit. And then more importantly as well, go ahead and start creating a time frame and plan for your transition. Think about what are your busy seasons in the next, for the rest of this year, or maybe next year? Go ahead and try to plan out when would be the best optimal time for you to do that. And I know that with kind of trying to keep the lights on, sometimes there is never a good time. So sometimes you have to just kind of set, a time and date and a couple hours just to kind of really start doing that. So I really encourage you to get started. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here and walk you guys through. Actually, before I do that, this will be sent out again in the deck here, but we kind of talked about Trailhead and the trails, so visit these. It's a really good mix of kind of like a curriculum for you to kind of go over. Accelerators are paid engagements if you are interested in kind of someone to kind of help you along with the implementation and transition. Again, visit our upcoming webinars. Just like this webinar, we'll have more kind of about kind of the transition and to highlight some really cool things about Service Cloud. And then we have a myriad of other kind of resources as well. So let me go ahead and get out of this screen. So this is the support.desk.com site that you guys are familiar with. What I wanted to kind of direct you to, and let me actually make my screen just a little bit bigger here. What I wanted to point you guys to was our Desk to Service Cloud area. So if you click on the green area here, the banner, this will launch you to our Desk to Service Cloud guide. So here we have a couple of really cool things. We have our transition overview journey, which is a really good kind of walkthrough of kind of, again, like more information about what Service Cloud is. And then we can learn more to kind of see, more detailed breakdowns of what it is, more information on kind of planning your move, detailed information about migrating your data. So check that out. So let me go here, back to home. We also have our implementation journey. So earlier, I kind of really highlighted the trial. So this is a really good tool for the trial. It really walks you through step by step on like migrating your data, adding your users. Again, we have the wizards, but we have videos to walk you through as well. There's some case management kind of workflows that you can kind of watch and set up. If you want to set up your community, we have a couple videos here on that as well. Let's go back here. Some other things, again, if you want to start your free trial right away, you can click this link. It'll take you to that same free trial area that I showed you before. We also have our Desk to Service Cloud workbook. So though for anyone that's really likes an end-to-end guide, we also have kind of this PDF that you can download that'll walk you through setting your trial. And then we also have our webinar calendar, so please visit this often to sign up for future webinars. We also have, in addition to our webinars, we have weekly office hours. So these are really great. Let's say you start a trial and you have some questions on setting things up, or let's say you just have some general questions about the swap or transition. Sign up for any of these office hour sessions to get your questions answered. One last thing I wanted to point you guys to is if you go over to help and go to our video support center. So this is where all of our on-demand videos are hosted. They're actually mixed into the articles that I showed you earlier, but this is kind of your one-stop shop for all videos. So we have our transition journey here in kind of easy to consume format. We also have all of our past webinars. So this one will actually be hosted here as well. But we have a more detailed one on Intro to Service Cloud, as well as if you want to just take a look at maybe a more thorough agent training or admin setup guide here, or admin setup webinar, you can visit those here.